Right, so I've just been to see a torch on my USSR, because we've just been to Russia, and it was actually quite interesting. It felt like a history lesson, to be honest. And one of the most interesting things was, if they wanted a car or a piece of furniture, they had to apply for it, and it would take 7 to 10 years until they actually got it. Right, I've just been to the gym. Here are the stats from a half-hour run I did.
Non. Three points, not one off. Oh, three are down. Does that count?
All right, so we have here actually Andrew, and we're gonna pass it here. After that with Adrian. Wow!
Hey!
Ladies and gentlemen, Tom, you have completed here with 9 points. That is Andrew.
Hey! Woo!
Make the ground shake.
Now Tom is name about winning, ladies and gentlemen. Unless it's not gonna win or not. No pressure, Tom.
Tom knows what he's doing.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have Andrew. Tom Stevens, don't worry about it. We're gonna have all the small prizes.
Gonna get a lanyard.
But Andrew gonna get life-changing prize, which is really good here. Which is T-shirt, ladies and gentlemen, life-changing T-shirt, and for Tom is a golf tee. Ladies and gentlemen, come on, let's hear our winners. Thank you, everybody. Nice and jazz.
Right, I'm now going to have some coffee and cake. So I'm currently in this ball thing in the chill out zone, which I just filmed. This is the place where we come just to read, and there's a coffee machine over there which does free coffee, because normally you need a drinks pass, but this one's free, yay. This boat is actually going to Iceland next, and I wish we could stay on it, because this boat's done the cruise we're on about 3 or 4 times, and it's going to Iceland, and it's going to Norway, and it's going around the Mediterranean. The staff get to experience all that, and I get to experience Iceland, but I can't. And that is because, 1, we can't afford staying on it, and 2, I've got my results day, so I need to be back. But we weren't considering it anyway, because we're not rich. going on?
It's going! Oh, it's cute. Pressure for the lad. Right, Karen, it's me more with you.
Right, so it's the next day and we've put our clocks back another hour. So we are now in UK time. And this is our current position on the map. Okay, we just need to come down here and into Southampton. Right, so we are entering our local newspaper competition, okay? And you had to read the Mercury, which is our local newspaper, in the best place, okay? And then if yours was deemed to be the best place, then you get a free trip to Boston. So we've took a lot of photos of us reading the Mercury. We took one at the Royal Palace in Sweden, one whilst we were going up on that kind of half London Eye thing over Sports Stadium. We took one outside, you know, that kind of brownish, kind of very nice looking Estonian building. We also took one by the view over Estonia, because there was lots of it from viewpoints around the city. And then we took one by Peterhof Palace, which was where you saw that fountain ceremony happen in Russia, okay? So, I'm going to show you all of them now, okay? And by the time this video goes up, we might have decided, we might have not decided, I don't know. But comment which you think was best anyway. Because it might help decide if we haven't already decided. Even though the Russia one is good, we thought that Russia's a bit too common, because you know the World Cup's just been, so everybody's been to Russia recently. So currently our mindset is go with one of the Estonian ones, but it could change. So we have to be fully packed up by 8 PM tonight, and we've got luggage tags for our bags, and we've got to put them by the door over there. And then it will be taken off the ship.
Anybody ever do, those of you crews that quite a lot, anybody do the Celebrity Century? Anybody ever gone the Century? What a great ship. Wasn't that a wonderful ship? Did you like it?
Yes.
I used to love that ship. It was quite small, only about 1,600 guests. And they went through this thing called solsticizing. I think now what's going to happen, we're going to edgeify everything. So we're going to make the fleet sort of come in line with the edge. But back in the day, it was called solsticizing. And unfortunately, the Century was just too small to solsticize. So they sold that one. And then I went to one called the Mercury, which was also a really nice ship as well. And I think the Mercury was the one, if I'm not mistaken. Those of you who are familiar with the lady Jane McDonald, I think that was the ship that she was on when they filmed that documentary, and she was singing in the equivalent of, say, the Sky Lounge, and that's what made her sort of famous. So you can blame the Mercury. And then they sold that one because again they couldn't solsticize it. And then I went to one called the Galaxy, and I've got a picture of the Galaxy as well. And they sold that one. In fact, every time I showed up on a ship, people would get nervous about their jobs. They just kept selling them. But one of the coolest things in this job, those of you who came to 10 things you must see with celebrity, is that 95 countries I've been to, and I'm desperate to get to 100 before celebrity farming, so you never know, it's always a bit touch and go. But one of the coolest things I've done is get to go to Antarctica. Only 35,000 people every year get to go to Antarctica, and I've been there 3 times, and it's a fascinating. In fact, have I got time? If I tell you a quick story, so this is the bridge on the Infinity. There's the bow of the ship. Now, what happened was, if you've never done a Panama Canal cruise, they're brilliant. I've done it about 16 times, and they're so much fun. Very, very interesting, especially learning about how they built it and the people that died and the malaria and all that stuff. It's very, very interesting, a Panama Canal cruise. I've done it about 16 times, but one time we were going through, and there was a Beyond the Podium speaker on board called Miloš. Does anybody ever come across a man called Miloš? He's brilliant, isn't he? He's one of the smartest men I've ever met. When he tells me a joke, he then has to explain it to me. I'm like, what, so Schrodinger had a cat, or he didn't have a cat? I don't understand. Anyway, so one day we were going to go through the Panama Canal, and the actual day we were going through the Panama Canal was April the 1st. And I thought, oh, this is too good an opportunity to do something, right? So I went to Miloš and said, Miloš, I've had an idea, but you're smart and I need your help. What I want to do is, as we're going through the Panama Canal, I want to say, because it's April the 1st, that they've discovered, they've released the embargo on a recently discovered bird that everybody thought was extinct for hundreds of years. But there's this one nest, and on the morning we sail through, this bird is going to like give birth, like the eggs are going to hatch for this bird that's thought was extinct. And this bird thing has to be called a luftlerper. Okay, remember that will become important later in the story. So it's like luftlerper, okay, so he's like, well, what can we make it? And he's like, okay, I've got it. We're going to make it a flightless anteater. So I bring him out on stage and say, ladies and gentlemen, we've got some very exciting news, but on the day we go through the Panama Canal, of course we're going to go through the locks and get all that, but we are going to be sailing past the little island where the luftlerper will hatch for the first time in what's thought to be centuries, because they thought it was extinct. The world's media are going to be on the bank on the other side, but you won't be able to see them because they're going to be hidden in hides and bushes and things like that, because they don't want to disturb the birds. But if you have a camera, you'll be sailing close to the luftlerper, to the flightless anteater, than the world's press. So if you happen to have, I don't know, an iPad, a camera, a phone, maybe you can make some money, maybe hundreds of dollars, selling it to the Reuters, the BBC, the Associated Press. And that was it then. Everybody had dollar signs in their eyes. So we brought Miloš on the television, we brought him out of the theatre the night before to describe what they would be looking for, how to get the best camera angles, and all this sort of stuff. So on the morning of going through the Panama Canal, it's about 10:15 in the morning, and Miloš is up on the bridge and going, oh, that was the Gatun Lock, and it was built in 19... And then I'm like, Miloš, we're approaching this island now. He said, yes, we're approaching the island, so if everybody could be quiet outside. So you've got 1,000 people on one side of the ship. It's 90 degrees, which is about 30 degrees, I guess, in centigrade, all with their iPods ready to go. Now, on that cruise, actually, my aunt and uncle were on board, and as a special favour to my uncle, Uncle David, I said, I'm going to take you up to the bow of the ship, so you'll get some of the first pictures. And he was like, oh, that's brilliant. So I escorted him to the boat, went up to the bridge, and as we were approaching the island, I said, this is just a monumental occasion. I'm going to hush my voice, Miloš. But just could you explain to me the Latin name of this luftlerper? Oh, because that's the other thing. We had a group of ornithologists on board going, it's not in my book. What are the chances? Anyway, so, and luftlerper, as we're saying past, get your cameras ready, everybody. Luftlerper, it's such an interesting name. How do you spell luftlerper? Well, he said Luft is spelled L-O-O-F. Love. Oh, so if you write fool backwards, you get love, right? Yeah. And lerpa, how do you spell lerpa? He said the way it's L-I-R-P-A. So hang on a minute, Miloš. If you say luftlerpa backwards, it spells April Fool. And 1,000 people went.
Sea is very turquoisey. Today is normally a darker blue, but today it's very, very turquoisey. So I've done yet another half-hour run, and here are the stats. Do you think I'm improving or not? So my average pace went down, but my distance went up. And also the speed slightly increased, so progress.
And up to goal we go, Justin. Catch. Where'd you go, Tom? Whoa, hey. Yeah.
Watch out, everybody.
Aim for the clipboard. Here we go. Aim for the clipboard. Oh. Alright, aim down our work. Ooh, your line. Quick. Oh. That's alright. Wrong hole. Do it again. Go to the other rules. This way. Good man. There's that one. And now over here, 2, 3, 4. Good job, 4.
Right, everybody. We believe that you can't see it because the sun's in a stupid place, but we believe they are the White Cliffs of Dover. They don't look very white with the sun reflecting on them, but I mean, we just looked on a map and they do seem to be it. And we're finally back in England, whoopee! So we've just seen Dover on the other side, and this side, you can't see it, but it's France, I can assure you.
I had a dream the other night about how we only get one life. Woke me up right after 2, stayed awake and stared at you so I wouldn't lose my mind. And I had a week that came from hell, and yes, I know that you could tell. You're like the net under the ledge. When I go flying off the edge, you go flying off as well. And if we're only here once, I wanna live with you.
You got something I need. In this world full of people, there's one loving me. And if we're
Only here once.
I wanna live with you.
Last night I think I came to life. Loving a temporary rush. With broken words I tried to say. one day you'll leave this world behind, so live a life that you'll remember. My father told me when I was just a child, these are the nights that never die. My father told me. Can't put out, calling me to those shining stars. He said, go venture from the army shores, don't forsake this life of yours. I'll guide you home no matter where you are. One day my father told me, son, don't let it slip away. When I was just a kid, I heard him say, when you get older, your wild heart will live the other days. It will be dependent on the way. He said, one day you'll leave this world behind, so live a life that you'll remember. My father told me when I was just a child, these are the nights that never die. My father told me. Congratulations. Show what you got.
Right, it's so weird how there's 3,000 people on the boat, and some people I see 2 to 3 times a day, like each day. Yet there's some other people that have been on a tour that I've not seen at all on the boat. And that they do actually get on a boat, because the other people on the tour are just people from a boat. So this boat here is fueling this ship up for its next voyage to Ireland, Iceland and Northern Ireland. Right, so if you didn't know, we're back in Southampton here. It's boring, there's nothing here, and it's also a very gloomy, kind of miserable day for weather. So our disembarkation time is 8:15, okay? Which is kind of annoying because you can disembark between 7 and 9. Some people got 7, but we got 8:15, meaning like there'll be more traffic as we're trying to get out.